Hello, teacher. Good evening. My name is Pablo Caicedo, and today it's 5 May 2025. And the topic of today is type of plagiarism. Let's start about what is plagiarism. Plagiarism is when, as the word saying in English, plagiate, right? Plagiarism is when someone presents another person's ideas, words, or words as their own without keeping proper credit, right? Knowing that plagiarism is how students respect intellectual property and maintain academic honesty, right? Practically, I just give a context about a specific about plagiarism. But in this case, if I have to explain what is the specific, or I have to give an opinion about what is for me plagiarism, is just to be another context or another person information that is not yours, and you take that word like it's like yours, or pretend that the word that you take is like your, and you're taking the credit over another person, right? In this case, knowing about plagiarism is just not being honest with in this case, right? The next slide that we have here is what is important to understand plagiarism. In this case, plagiarism is just important because to understand this case, to avoid any problem in this case, first of all, the problem we have is academic penalty or legal consequence. In this case, uh, at this university, the plagiarism is not allowed. In this case, it's like mandatory to know that plagiarism is incorrect in this case, right? Probably people are using at this year's the AI to complete another activities or to do this the in this case their task, and they use the plagiarism, but it's not for a person, just for the intelligent artificial intelligence. But it's considered plagiarism because you are using not your words, you are using the words of another uh, person, in this case, technology, to do your job, in this case. What is important to understand the plagiarism is to protect your reputation and credibility. If you are catched using plagiarism, your reputation is gonna fall because any person here or anyone is gonna trust you. And we have another thing that plagiarism is thing when you're trying to understand, to trying to research and writing skills. Type of plagiarism is obviously we have type of plagiarism, and I got someone that I actually searched on the internet. And first of all, we have the ghost writer. Is to submit someone else entire words as your own. The photocopy, copying large part of research word for word. The public paper, mixing copy phrases and different research. The poor disguise, changing some word for keeping the original structure. The labor of listening, paraphrasing but not adding any original thoughts. That's plagiarism too, right? Self-plagiarism, resign some else password without permission. Probably, actually, you think that plagiarism is just to copy the information to another person? Yeah, actually, that plagiarism. But in this case, we have types of plagiarisms. We have six, but in this case, I think that there are more than six. But in this case, type of plagiarism that actually it's more common in this case for I mean is the photocopy, copying large part of a research word for word. But in this case, there is a type of plagiarism that I actually I was looking for in the internet. When I was reading this type of plagiarism, I was like a little confused because I thought that this type of technique it was not plagiarism, but in this case it was plagiarism. To use the same information, but just trying to paraphrase it, right? Mm, we're not, and actually, we're not writing the same original thoughts, but because we are paraphrasing, but in this case, it's a type of plagiarism, right? So, next one, type of plagiarism is sudden, but still plagiarism. The forgot footnote mentioned the author name but not the research. That's plagiarism too. The misformer, give me incorrect or fake research information, but when the teacher, in this case, say that wants to research information on the last word, this case, the information or the links in which you found the information. You made your work with AI. Probably the AI is just thinking by the own, not being searched and different researched on different websites in this case. For that reason, AI don't give you the real information or the real search information in this case. Number three, the two perfect paraphrase. Putting the two closely without quoting marks. The resourceful cider, quoting resorted correctly but copying everything. And finally, the perfect crime, citing some research but no other also use it. Uh, what are the effects of plagiarism in this case? What are the things, bad things, or the effects about plagiarism? First of all, academic consequence. If someone notices that you are making plagiarism, obviously failing grades, or in this case, suspension, as the word said. First, the second one, professional consequence. In this case, actually, I'm starting to teach English. Probably, I'm doing this job by my own. Actually, I was writing all these parts, all my slide, searching information on different websites. In this case, to understand what is specific about plagiarism, or trying to search information about type of plagiarism. In this case, about the consequence that I thought that was the correct ones and what are the consequences about plagiarism was the professional consequence. Probably it's very hard to get this probably it's too far to get this one, but some consequences to do plagiarism could be job your loss or legal issues. This is too far, it's too much, but probably could happen, right? And finally, personal damage. Personal damage, it's currently one of the most consequence that could be using plagiarism because it's damage your reputation. Why? In this case, because uh, if you make plagiarism and people know see that you are making plagiarism, they're never are gonna trust you anytime, right? That's it. Love of trust. And finally, I mean a reflection about plagiarism. I'm gonna read this part. Actually, I was reading my slide, and I gave actually for each slide I was giving my opinion for each slide I was saying. Well, the reflection I'm gonna read this part, just this part I'm gonna read, right? The plagiarism can be avoided with good habits, learning how to research properly, paraphrasing ideas, and cite all research is key to academic integrity. As students should use their own words to understand what they read. Using plagiarism in detention tools and asking teacher for help can also reduce the risk. When we value originality and respect the word of others, we create an honest and responsible academic environment. Writing is a way to show our understanding, not just to complete an assignment. For brain plagiarism help us grow as thinker and learners. And that's true. Every single word that I actually write on this reflection are the truth. Okay, and probably you're gonna take a moment, right, to think about the word that I'm saying, or the reflection that I said, because every single word that I actually, or every single phrase that I actually wrote on this reflection are very true. Okay, and finally, I'm gonna give you some tips to avoid the plagiarism. I mean, actually, I give you some tips on the reflection, but you can say another tips on this case. Keep clear notes of your research. Learn citation styles, APA, MAL, and etc. Use plagiarism checkers, grammatically, keyable, or turning. There are some websites that you can use to avoid plagiarism. And absolutely don't copy and paste, right? That's actually one of the most tools that people use, copy and paste. And finally, ask your teacher if you are unsure or you are not comfortable of the word that you are writing. Try to ask to your teacher or try to support with your teacher. And that's it. All this about my opinion about plagiarism and about what type of plagiarism. Actually, I read it the link that you actually give us to read on the lesson one. And this is plagiarism and this is me, right? This is Pablo. Bye bye. Take care and thank you very much.